So I removed this back door panel and took the switch out, which is actually pretty easy. It's 3 screws. It mounts into this little area. So I was thinking, okay, the contacts are probably bad on this because the switch would only work going down. It would not work coming back up. So just so you can see this thing, it's got a little lock tab there. Of course, I've already taken it, popped this one loose with a little flathead screwdriver. Same on the other side. Well, anyways, once you get this apart, it does you really no good because, as you can see, it's got an up and a down. But inside here, the contacts are actually down deeper. There's little white tabs down in there. Those are actually the little switches. So what we'll actually have to do is pull this 2-piece housing apart by putting little flatheads in those grooves right there and disassemble that to see what these contacts look like. Okay, so I was actually able to pry this apart by putting the flathead screwdriver here and here, and then another one underneath the bottom, as you can see, and was able to get those tabs popped up out of that groove, which was very tedious. I mean, you're probably going to break it, but since the switch is already broke, you're not out much if you do. But it's worth a try to get it apart. If I could get that screwdriver to stay. Now we've got this out. Let's see what this looks like. It looks to me like those contacts are still down inside of... Oh my goodness, you gotta take this part again. Yeah, it looks like we got 2 more tabs here before we can get to those little white contacts. The buttons down deep inside here. So we'll pull this apart a little bit further. I really need to get a tripod or something to do this. Trying to do this with one hand. A little bit aggravating, but whatever. At least it gives you guys the idea of what this looks like inside. Maybe we'll see some burnt contacts in here. See if I can get this in some better light. I'm doing this in the garage at like 4 a.m. so you'll just have to bear with me. So you can actually take these off. They're just kind of like a little spring-loaded clip there, and you can see the contact. How it's got all kinds of corrosion built up on it. You just file that off. Take some sandpaper and file it off. And do the same on the body. File that little contact off, which is right there for people who are not familiar with this. But that little dab right there is actually what makes the contact like in a relay, and it gets corrosion built up. So here's like a before and after. I just flipped those contacts around. But the side on the left is where I've cleaned it up and filed it off. The side on the right is with corrosion built up. And it doesn't take very long. Just a quick little sanding or filing. You could even use a razor blade and just scrape across there. But that's what you want it to look like. The side that's on the left. And then there's those little white pieces of plastic. Those are actually the buttons that fit down inside those grooves there, that make contact. Now before I put this thing back together, I'm going to actually give this thing a test in the car and we'll see how it works. Looks like we're working.